Hello everyone, I'm Max Lu, a person with disability from Singapore. Some of you may know me as Pin Mok or Ping Mu. In this video, I'll explain how insomnia affects my daily life, especially in communal living, while being largely housebound, and what I practically do to cope. If you are housebound most of the time due to disability, fear, phobia, or depression, I hope this helps you feel less alone. In my previous video, taking public transport when you have spinal implants, I mentioned that I travel less due to the pain and discomfort from my spinal implants. In fact, traveling less on public transport is also the solution for people who for some reason cannot sit still, because this will disturb people around them. I tend to rock back and forth in my chair, especially when my chair has little or no cushioning. This is due to my backside or buttocks having too little flesh because I'm underweight. At times, it is very uncomfortable or painful at worst to be in seated positions for longer periods of time without moving my backside. I even do that regularly in the sofa chair that I'm currently seated in because the cushioning is quite stiff in this cheap sofa. I'm restraining myself now only for the short duration of this video. This also extends to all forms of communal living, so people like me may have to live alone in our own house. We may have to sit on only well-cushioned seats or be constantly bedridden to avoid disturbing others, because moving our backside constantly on hard chairs can be quite noisy. This noise is caused either by the bones in my buttocks hitting the chair or the sound and vibration of the chair moving on the hard floor. If we try to do things late at night or in the early hours of the morning when we cannot sleep, we may also disturb others who can sleep normal hours. As a result, we must try to do visually and audibly quiet things when we can't sleep, like reading an e-book. This is because turning on the lights late at night to read a physical book may disturb those living closest to us unless we have our own room and can close the door to our room. I currently have insomnia on most days due to my mental health medications, and doctors have had limited options. For my previous spinal implants causing pain problem, doctors assess my implants to be well and are cautious about removing them due to the risk of further spinal damage leading to paralysis. For my current insomnia problem, doctors have been unable to resolve it without prescribing sleep medications that are either ineffective or cause other problems. With ineffective medicines, I either continue to take a long time to fall asleep, or the sleep may last only a couple of hours or less. The other problems caused are extended drowsiness the next day, requiring more sleep in a day, or that the constant use of the medicine may lead to adverse heart conditions. Hence, I now read e-books or e-documents using my mobile phone or e-reader in my bed when I cannot sleep, to try to tire myself out mentally for sleep. I generally avoid reading physical books in bed because they are heavier and more cumbersome to hold in my hands. However, I cannot avoid disturbing others occasionally when my buttocks move because most chairs in my home are made of wood. These occasional events usually happen when I'm seated and having my meals in the kitchen. And I would like to take the opportunity to apologize to my neighbors if they are watching this video, and thank them for bearing with me over the years. I do have meals late at night or in the early hours of the morning when I cannot sleep. Because when I cannot sleep, I can get hungry. This hunger also further worsens my insomnia, so I must eat to improve my chances of falling asleep. But how am I going to tolerate the normal work day if I constantly sleep very late at night or in the early hours of the morning? The truth is, I can't. Taking coffee and tea only helps temporarily, and overconsumption may affect the heart as well. For me, Taking coffee can sometimes cause me more sleeplessness at night. Because of this, I can only do work from home that is both part-time and flexi-time. This allows me to take naps intermittently in bed during the day when I get too sleepy. Along with very little traveling done as explained in my previous video, I become largely housebound. There is also another reason for working from home or remote work that I'll go into in my next video. Unfortunately, this becomes very concerning in a country like Singapore where I live, that sometimes engages in long-term noisy construction projects that will affect people if they have to sleep in the day. I currently live in the midst of one of the many concurrently ongoing long-term construction projects that is happening right beside my home. Sometimes the noise extends into the night, with strange sporadic noises even in the wee hours of the morning. Thankfully, I have installed an aircon in my room sometime after the construction started. When I sleep, I close all the doors and windows of my rooms and turn on the air conditioning to cool down the room when it becomes too hot and stuffy. This is now done even when I'm awake in my room because of the hot and humid weather in Singapore, the threat of mosquitoes spreading diseases, and also because I do not want to keep opening and closing the windows and doors. While this solution cannot totally block out all the loud noise, it reduces the volume of the noise so that it is easier to sleep. Working from home part-time and flexi-time and using costly air conditioning at home is not the ideal way to live, but these are the most realistic ways I have found to function with dignity in a largely housebound life. These solutions may not work for everyone, but if you are stuck, alone, or housebound most of the time, I hope this helps you feel understood and gives you a place to start.